Latest numbers as far as employment are concerned showing a slight improvement in that unemployment rate. However, we know, of course, there are still too many people without jobs, especially the young, those who are possibly qualified, going out into the workplace, even those who are unable to get themselves through tertiary education, just unable to find work. Well, there is a solution. It's a youth movement by the name of EmpowaYouth. They've been around for a couple of years, and what a pleasure to have Dumi le Roux joining us here on the show. Dumi, thanks for coming in on a Saturday, because we were at Wits yesterday covering those Wits protests, and one of the arguments from the pupils and from the students rather is that even once they're qualified, they've gone through this fight of getting tertiary education. It almost doesn't mean very much for at least half of them, but they can't find jobs. That's where you come in, isn't it?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Gareth.
And so tell me then, how are you able to do this when seemingly government can't find jobs for the youth?
Sure.
Where do you come in?
Sure. So let me just give you a bit of background. EmpowaYouth is a product of EmpowaWorks, which is a marketing agency. And 8 years ago, EmpowaWorks decided to give birth to this product or this platform called EmpowaYouth to speak to the plight of young people. It's exactly that. Young people are battling to find opportunities for work, even for tertiary institutions where they want to further their studies, and hence the Wits riot is currently taking place. So we said, you know what, let's come back, speak to the plight of young people, provide a platform where we bring industry and youth to come in and engage each other around what are the opportunities that are available for them in different industries and sectors, and what does it look like for them to be able to grab a hold of these opportunities, and moreover, what requirements do they need to sit with or possess to be able to tap into those particular opportunities.
I'm glad you brought up the words opportunities and skills. Help me understand, which one is the bigger problem? Is it a case of there are not enough opportunities for people with skills, or there aren't enough skills for the opportunities? What's the bigger problem?
Sure. You know what, Gareth, there's actually a lot of implicating factors to this particular topic, and I'm going to speak to namely two. We're sitting with a problem where industry requires experience from young people to be able to get into opportunity. They're looking for experience and a specific skill set. Also, moreover, they're not able to find the right people that can fit that particular post or position with the skill set and the knowledge. Whereas youth are now saying, I've completed my tertiary qualification, but now there's an entity that requires me to have X amount of years of experience to be able to get into this particular space. And that's really where we bring in technicons and TVET colleges, because I understand that the riot that's taking place right now is based on a lack of room to accommodate young people. And we need to get to a point where, as youth, we discover that there are TVET colleges and technicons that kill two birds with one stone. They give you the knowledge at the same time. They give you the experience that you may require to get into the industry. So it's a push and pull where industry is saying you need to have experience because we may not have the time to teach you. Where youth are saying, but I've got the qualification and you need to teach me to get that experience. So what EmpowaYouth then does is we bring the right entities, we bring the right youth, we segment them accordingly, and we then marry the two to say, you're looking for this type of caliber of young person, this is the person that we've got that can meet that particular role or expectation.
And as you all know, before we start marrying anything to anybody else, you need to go through the dating phase as well and find each other. So let's imagine this is Jobs Tinder before we get into EmpowaYouth as well, because I'm glad you mentioned you can have a tertiary education, but it's the TVETs that are making a difference. So let's talk skill sets then. So we wanted to put two types of problems in the same room. They're having a date before you can marry them. Are we talking about what kind of skill sets are you able to then marry to a job offering? What works for EmpowaYouth?
So what works for EmpowaYouth, actually one thing about us that sets us apart is that we don't cut anyone out. As long as you're a young person between the ages of 18 to 35, you still are relevant for our platform. So yes, we do have those that come in with a particular skill set, that have an N4 or have a particular qualification that allows them to have a certain amount of skills. We'll then look at marrying them to a particular entity that looks for those skills. But even those that don't have a matric, those that do have a matric and and are seated at home and aren't able to further their education. The opportunities that we speak to are quite vast in the sense that it speaks to, your job opportunity, your bursaries, your training, where we work quite a lot with seaters that come and absorb a certain number of young people through our platform, as well as just allowing youth to further their studies through even universities. So all these people come into our very platform, and we give them exposure to a certain amount of young people through that week experience.
Talk to me about successes, because I imagine there could be somebody at home, maybe it's a parent, a grandparent, a caregiver, maybe someone exactly in the situation, has the qualification or doesn't, but has matric at least,
sure.
Has a willingness to get a job, not one of those who've decided I'm never going to work because it's not there. What is the success rate for EmpowaYouth?
Okay, so it's quite impressive in the sense that between 2021, where we started our week-long experience, to where we are currently, we've impacted 1,900 young people with opportunities of work, bursaries, training, and education. Where they've come in, we've married them to the right type of entity who's been able to absorb them over the last 3 years. But we have been in existence for the past 8 years, where we've expanded and grown as a one-day job summit to the week-long experience. And the nice thing is that we've actually also started replicating into the nationwide township and rural areas. We were in Limpopo in October, we were in KZN last year, and we're going to Mafikeng next month. So we really are targeting all 9 provinces of our country by the end of 2024. And what's mostly important, Gareth, is that we need support from entities that have the same, sort of objectives and strategic mandate to uplift and empower youth. They come and they don't have to reinvent the wheel, but rather they come in and join in on a platform such as EmpowaYouth to be able to access the right target and create an upliftment and upskilling for our young people.
How do you keep up with the demand, though? Because obviously it's a very, very impressive number, but the unemployment rate is almost impossibly high, especially for our youth. How do you handle the scale, especially after doing an interview like this? I imagine there's going to be lots of youngsters heading over to your website, which you're going to give me details on,
Sure.
website and social media in a moment. How do you handle that scale?
So what we do is we've actually got a sustainable part of our team where we've got an opportunity pavilion. Now that team specifically focuses on the placements and securing of opportunities for young people. So we don't just place you during one of our summits and then there you go, you're done with us. But there's actually a sustainable method in it where we keep track with all the entities that have provided us with opportunities to say how far are the people that we've placed with your particular entity, how are they doing it. There's the sustainability in the sense that we know who they are and if they've progressed within that particular entity, how far so. And they also need to remember to come back and give back to EmpowaYouth and at home to say, through this particular platform, I've been able to do A, B, and C.
And just as I say goodbye to you now,
Sure.
it all sounds like it works quite seamlessly. You're never going to be able to solve the entire problem, but you're making a massive dent. Perhaps companies watching now, TVETs, pupils, students, unemployed, and that's what this is about. Unemployed are watching this now. Where are we sending them? Give us website details, give us details. How does a business or a possible student get hold of you?
Sure. So for our students that are looking to find out more information on EmpowaYouth, we are available on our website as well as our social platforms. Our website is www.empawaYouth, so it's EMPOWAYouth.co.za. On our social medias, it's at EmpowaYouth, and you spell it exactly the same way, EMPOWAYouth. Then for entities that are actually looking to directly engage with us as far as partnership is concerned, they can email me directly on Dumi, so that's DUMI, at EmpowaWorks, so that's EMPOWAWORX.co.za. We also do have a landline, it's 011 482 7256.
256. I think what we'll do is when we repeat this a little bit later, see if we can't get those details up
Sure.
as well. But the number again, 011 482 7256.
That's correct.
And the website, nice and easy as well, www.empower with an A, youth.co.za. It's wonderful, and all the best for the year
Thank
as
you
well.
so much.
Making a big dent, doing as much as they can to marry those organizations that are trying to find people with skills and people who have the skills to get them into those jobs. It's a solution, is what we need in this country. My thanks to head of EmpowaYouth, Dumi le Roux. You can go check out that website, www.empawaYouth.co.za.